Health tips for kids. 10 tips for your child. Health tips for kids. 10 nutrition tips for kids. Health tips for kids. Encouraging healthy ingestion will typically appear to be an amazing task during a world that glorifies candy, chocolate, and potato chips over the healthy foods that facilitate youngsters to become older healthy. As luck would have it, kids follow their parents' example, thus you'll guide them in creating the proper selections. Parents ought to set an honest example, says Dr. Brian McCrindle, foundation exponent and heart specialist at Sick Children's Hospital in Toronto. Try to eat vegetables and fruit with each meal, even lunch. Conjointly limit the number of ready foods and set up healthy meals and snacks for you and your kids. Consistent with him, the great example is, do what I do, instead of, do what I say. Here is a unit some fun facts concerning foods that may get your youngsters pondering their snack and food selections. Health tips for kids. You can begin the voice communication with, did you recognize? 1. A 355 ml of soppy drink contains between 10 and 12 tablespoons of sugar, that is between 150 and 180 empty calories. Hire to quench your thirst with water or milk. 2. Fish, chicken, and different lean meats and alternatives like legumes and bean curd area unit full of supermolecule that helps build robust muscles. 3. Fallout inexperienced vegetables like broccoli and orange vegetables like carrots and sweet potato contain vitamins that provide you with energy and keep you enjoying extended. 4. The fruit is better than juice. In truth, associate unpeeled raw apple has 10 times additional fibers than a cup of fruit juice. 5. The sports drinks are unit largely water, however, their second most significant ingredient is sugar. Whereas sports drinks are unit fine once strenuous exercise sort of a football match, overwhelming water, and a posh sugar like fruit can fuel you higher without all those empty calories. 6. The body wants healthy oils and fats to quickly offer muscle energy. However, if you eat an excessive amount of fat accumulates within the body. The great fats are units found in loco, avocados, olive oil, vegetable oil, and non-hydrogenated soft margarine. Dangerous fats are units found in firm margarine, vegetable shortening, butter, coconut and palm oils, fatty meats, and whole dairy farm products. 7. Reduced fat milk and dairy farm product, yet as fortified soy product, area unit loaded with atomic number 20 and facilitate build healthy bones which will shield you from gambling injuries. 8. Ingestion fiber causes you to feel additional full and is nice for the guts. A slice of the staff of life does not quell hunger the maximum amount as a slice of 100% whole wheat bread with the germ. Foods high in fiber conjointly contain vitamins and minerals, which will keep your heart healthy. 9. Honeyed sodas, honeyed cereals, the staff of life, and rice are unit absorbed quickly into the body, the effort you hungry presently wants. They'll conjointly provide you with a fast, however fugitive surge of energy which will cause you to feel tired and even irritable. 10. Nutritive snacks will assist you to feel energized throughout the day to fight energy dips and keep your metabolism high, which helps you maintain a healthy weight. For instance, a tiny few locos in the middle of a recent fruit contain healthy fiber and fats that provide you with lasting energy, not like food like chips and candy. Health tips for kids. By creating healthy foods the simplest and quickest alternative, you may conjointly increase the possibilities of your kids creating the proper alternative. This can be the rationale why it's necessary to not keep food reception or a minimum of keeping it out of the reach of kids. Make sure their area unit perpetually vegetables, fruits, and healthy foods your youngsters love in your room. If their favorite flavor of reduced fat dairy product is peach, make certain you've got some existing. Obtain easy to peel bananas if your youngsters love them. Is one reason why it can be thus convenient to allow them to assist you to set up your searching list, particularly once it involves vegetables and fruit. Remember, if your youngsters hate plums and it is the sole fruit in your house, they are additional doubtless to raise you for food or avoid a healthy snack. If you're discouraged by the sight of healthy foods left untouched and wasted, bear in mind that vegetables, fruits, fish, and different frozen and canned foods are unit even as healthy and save time. Make sure to examine for additional sugar, salt, or unhealthy fat. 10 tips for your child. Sleep, hygiene, nutrition, prevention. For the physical and psychological state of your youngsters, 10 tips to use once your youngsters are unit back to high school. Sensible practices to follow on a commonplace. A few days before the recommencement of categories, step by step bring their time of day forward in order that they realize a sleep rhythm custom made to high school life, at least 10 hours up to 12 years previously, a minimum of 9 hours up to 18 years old. Take the vaccination record out of the cabinet and confirm that every one children's vaccines are unit up to now. Rediscover sensible ingestion practices when unhealthy summer habits, no additional snacking, excess chocolate, candy, and frozen dessert. Long live fruits and vegetables. Advance the timer by 10 minutes within the morning to organize a true breakfast. A daily fuel, created of cereals, squeezed fruit juice, a bit of cheese, an egg, and a bowl of drinkable. Register your youngsters during a club to force them into a sporting or cultural activity, the most effective thanks to keeping them healthy in body and mind. A healthy mind during a healthy body. Perform a routine check on your children's hair, particularly behind the neck and ears, to create certain that a couple of lice haven't taken root throughout the vacations. Make a rendezvous together with your oculist, typically many months ahead, to examine your children's sightedness, since undetected vision issues are typically the reason behind faculty failures. Remain alert on the abusive use of the PC and also the electronic games, especially within the evening, the screens supporting the risks of sleep disorder, and thus of somnolence in progress. Encourage your youngsters to drink much water, instead of honeyed drinks, throughout the day. Insist on the importance of excellent daily hygiene. Laundry teeth morning and evening, laundry hands when every visit to the bathroom and before meals, etc. 5 tips for keeping your child healthy in 2020. As the 12-month begins, one of the items Haitian folks yearn for the foremost is sweet health for themselves and their kids. The drafting would really like, during this sense, to supply 5 tips to folks. If properly applied, these tips, impressed by our ways that and customs, can facilitate keep kids healthy for successive 12 months and on the far side. 1. Feed your baby completely at the breast for up to 6 months. Breastfeeding offers solely benefits. Do not hesitate to place your infant at the breast terribly early. The primary milk referred to as milk is made in nutrients and antibodies. These antibodies, real biological law enforcement officials United Nations agency make sure the protection of the newborn. A representative for this purpose its first vaccine against diseases, UNICEF, 2016, like diarrhea, tract infections to call a couple of. This precious milk ought to so not be thrown away. In addition, breastfeeding is an associate degree act of affection. By breastfeeding your baby, you transmit love, warm-heartedness and, at constant time, you prolong the intimate and distinctive relationship that began within the uterus. Additionally, breastfeeding promotes the optimum growth of your baby. Health tips for kids. Nowadays, some mothers replace breast milk terribly early with dishes of all types, Chico, Guardian, cassava, banana, etc., and, while not knowing it, create the bed of early deficiency disease. Such practices are powerfully discouraged. As a result, they'll compromise the expansion and, later, the educational talents of the kid. To parents, United Nations agency notices their milk, salty or bitter, we tend to simply say, "Pa information let dirty, pa information let an me." To inject your baby that vaccination is that the best thanks to shielding yourself et al. Against totally different pathologies. The Ministry of Public Health and Population currently has important vaccines that shield against sure diseases that were once fatal, like tetanus, diphtheria, TB, pneumonia, reverse diarrhea. These vaccines are free and offered to folks planning to the closest clinic to possess your kids unsusceptible as so a gesture of affection that helps forestall sure diseases. 3. Avoid self-medication. Self-medication is the observation of administering medication or victimization treatment techniques while not a medical prescription. Some folks have fairly often suggested by a neighbor, or maybe a member of the family United Nations agency invitations them to present season or teas to self-prescribe medication. Self-medication involves risks, as a result of what's designed as drugs for the pathology of the opposite isn't essentially therefore for itself. Additionally, when it's concerning kids, the chance becomes additional vital. Sure practices, like the systematic use of amoxicillin and painkiller, will be harmful to the health of youngsters. Polymox has specific indications, whereas painkiller isn't suggested just in case of fever. As a result of it will cause serious complications that may even cause the death of the kid. Health tips for kids. Have your baby seen by a pediatrician to avoid complications from self-medication. 4. Watch out for sure received ideas. Culturally in Haiti, there's typically a supernatural clarification for the malady. The neighbor or competition is accused. One suspects the cat that prowled and meowed within the corner, the bat that passed on the roof and that squeaked, or the bird of Minerva that hooted. These behaviors have a bearing on the method of seeking care and delay treatment. However, in terms of health generally, which of youngsters specifically, the time issue is a vital parameter. The longer the treatment is delayed, the additional case is probably going to become difficult and worsening. 5. Limit domestic accidents. Parents fairly often suppose that their kids are safe once they are receiving. Knowledge shows that this is often not continually the case. As a result of even reception, kids are exposed to a spread of risks and accidents that may adversely have an effect on their health. There are several samples of domestic accidents in Haiti. Here are some steps that may facilitate forestall a number of them. 1. Keep medications in an exceedingly latched drawer. 2. Place home product in places that are safe and inaccessible to children. 3. Never leave a baby alone in an exceedingly bathing tub, basin, close to the water jumps. 4. Keep kids far away from sharp objects. 5. Keep hot objects and liquids, tea, coffee, boiling water, stoves, ovens, etc. out of reach of children. 6. Avoid the maximum amount as doable the utilization of candles as a supply of energy. 7. Place lamp oil in an exceedingly clearly tagged bottle and far away from kids to avoid confusion with water or the other drink.